All right, I'd like to call the Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Department meeting for December 18th, 2024 to order at 5:32. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Present.
Ms. Dessauer? Present. Mr. Keel?
Present.
Mr. Dortmeyer?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Bungie?
Present.
Mr. Gatto is absent. Ms. Heidig is present.
Just for the record, Tim, are you here for Tony, or?
I am.
Thank you. Can we reflect that Tim Kubiak is here in place of Tony Gatto?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to minutes, November 20th, 2024, public meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Yes,
Any changes? Everything good?
I'm good.
If so, I'd like to motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes by Heather, seconded by Jeff. Roll call, please.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Keel?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. All right, moving on to item 1, active unsafe, 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's. I know they are on the agenda for tonight, right?
Yes, correct.
So,
We should, fingers crossed, be able to wrap this up tonight.
yeah, that's what
On
I
our
was
end.
thinking.
We did ask, I know last meeting we talked about the fencing around.
And it was up, yeah.
So, I mean, that's really all we asked.
Yes, absolutely.
And he did comply to that very quickly.
Yeah.
He's really done everything we've asked.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised he's not here tonight, doesn't really have to be again, because it really depends on the plan commission at this point, so. But it, hopefully, fingers crossed. Bob, what do you think?
And I hope everything works out.
Yeah, we won't know till we talk to Don. We've only seen a little bit so far, but I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
So as long as this is approved on the plan commission side for the site plan and those things, we can get him off of here, correct?
Absolutely.
At that point, it becomes a building department matter.
Yeah, and, Attorney Dittmeyer, do you think that we should defer this till the next meeting, or could we make it depending on what happens tonight with the?
I would kick it to January, and then we see what's going on, and once the permits and everything are pulled, then I would just move it, and if you want to keep it as an update, do it. Otherwise, if you want to take it off completely, it's up to you.
Yeah, I would be more apt to wanting to take it off if it does go through.
We have the plan commission date on, oops, I'm looking at the wrong agenda.
Well, this is the 15th for the next, unsafe.
I was on the wrong agenda, my fault.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion if that's okay.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to defer this until January 15th, and dependent on how we proceed at the plan commission level, that may or may not need to be.
I'll second. All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer to defer to the next meeting, seconded by Mr. Beal. Roll call, please.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Keel?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Item number 2, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Northwest Indiana, Casas LLC. I see Mr. Martin. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. 2701 West 45th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, 46408.
Okay, what do we got going on?
We are at a standstill. I am waiting for NIPSCO to retire rather the gas line, so that everything can be complete. After our meeting in October, and I think you guys are aware, and I apologize, there was a miscommunication with the Zoom, and so I was able to jump on the last meeting in November. But a week after the October meeting, I reached out to NIPSCO. They were out the very next day to remove the electric meter and the gas meter, but they, I guess, had to set up with an engineer to have the lines retired so that we could actually complete the demolition. It took a couple weeks, but Rosemary is the engineer that's in charge of the project. She finally reached out to me, told me that the time frame was going to be December the 5th through the 18th, which I know is today. And they still have not completed it. I've reached out to her and by phone and by email yesterday, today, and Monday. I've not got a response back from her. So I'm I will keep following up with them. I'm kind of at their mercy. They have to remove that, and I guess I was not aware that was part of the process. And I even mentioned to her that, we would be rebuilding there. And so if there's a way to not retire that line, but she said that that's the process and there's no way around it.
Everybody's thoughts on this one?
So where are you at with the demo? So if everything gets retired like you'd like, where are you at with the demo timeline after that?
My apologies. Everything could be completed within a week after that's completed.
So whether this is January or in the middle of winter, you're still going to demo the property?
Yes, yeah, it's not difficult. It's fairly easy work.
So the hope is that NIPSCO retires the lines in the next 30 days and you're able to go in there and demo?
Hopefully a lot less than 30 days, yes.
Okay.
And I know, and I even mentioned this to them, that my permit obviously expired December 5th. And so I don't know if there's a way to renew that. I know we purchased a couple permits already, but, that is something I need to, address with you guys as well. Because I know as of December 5th, that permit's expired.
How would that work, Tim?
Was this just a short-term permit for the demo?
Yeah.
We could, as long as you guys are okay, we can extend that for another 30 or 60 days, so we can get it completed without,
Without cost?
Normally the permit's good for 1 year. Based on your guys' order, it was for a short period of time, so I would imagine that it could be extended with your blessing with no cost.
There was also a hiccup with the Zoom link in November, so half of that is on us.
Okay.
So I don't see any reason why he should have to pay again to extend the permit, as long as you're okay with that.
So 30 or 60 more days from December 5th, so it's already going to be January 5th, so 60 days.
I would say till at least, no less than the next meeting by the 15th.
What do you think,
What's your
Mr. Martin?
And I would hope by the next meeting. I wish I had an answer from NIPSCO. I've never retired a line before. I've unretired several.
Difficult.
And it is always hard to get good communication, but usually it's a little bit easier than this normally to get communication from them, so.
Is there any harm in extending this, Tim, to the 15th of January and then having to extend it again if we need?
I'm just changing the number, so if you change it to 2-5, that would be easiest on me, because then it goes from 12-5 to, or it doesn't make any difference, that's fine. So what do you want to send it to? Just tell me the date. February?
Maybe just do it to the February.
I think so.
Just, knowing like how Tim said, and, Mr. Martin, we've seen it ourselves with, getting lines retired on 2 of the, properties recently, where it took quite a while.
So I just looked at the date and that makes it February 19th.
So you want to do it to 2/19/25 or 2/5/25?
Does it go to 2/8, does it go to the day before typically, I think?
It would make more sense, technically if it expired the day before, then they're coming in on an expired permit. So I would probably keep it open until the day of the meeting.
Okay.
So to 2/19.
2/19.
Please.
You got it.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Martin?
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, we'd love to see it done before then, but we understand the hiccup here and appreciate your patience with that. I can make a motion if that's okay.
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to extend the demo permit to February 19th, with the hopes that you'll get the authorization from NIPSCO beforehand that you can get the property demoed. Either way, you'd have to be back at our February 19th meeting. Well, actually, unless you get it demoed before then you don't have to come back to the meeting.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
For all of us.
All right, we have a motion?
So, Ms. Dessauer, is that also to defer this matter until February 19th?
I'm sorry,
as
yes,
well?
with a deferral to February 19th.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer, to defer this till the February 19th meeting and to extend the demo permit, till that date as well. Seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Moving on to item number 3, 13333 Lamore Street, Vogel. I've actually been in contact with the purchaser of the of the property. I don't actually know what happened with the closing dates or anything like that, but I've been texting, and also phone conversation, with Mr. Rhodes, with Dynasty Real Estate. This is the same person that, Tim and I have went over there and went with an inspection with it, with some suggestions. Currently, there's a little bit of a discrepancy, on what was told, to Mr. Rhodes when we said as long as he comes and gets a demo permit and comes in with the plans to rebuild, that it could remain a 4-unit. And then there was a little bit of confusion with building department that, this is actually zoned R2. However, when Michelle Bowers did some digging, there's 4 electric meters, 4 gas meters, and they've been paying 4 sewer bills since, I believe, 1972. So if and when, I don't believe she found out yet when it got switched to R2 from an RM.
It's always been, R2 is just legal non-conforming as it sits.
So how does that work now with them purchasing a 4-unit building if they want to repair that because they've been paying the 4 sewer bills for this long?
They should be able to repair it. I guess that is something that's gonna have to be discussed with everybody, like at what extent, you know, I mean, technically, the sewer and everything is up to date and been being paid. It is currently a 4-unit building in a R2 zoning, but, it should, I mean, I don't know if there's some kind of policy somebody was living in it until, you know, like throughout time. I don't know when the last time one or 2 of those units were occupied, but I know that.
It's been like 4 months or so.
Because I know that as the power
Yeah.
has gotten shut off, it's kind of fizzled because we wouldn't turn any back on, so it kind of.
Yeah, but I'm thinking as far as with the plans, I would, at least like to advise Mr. Rhodes on, his steps moving forward, whether.
I guess, like what we talked about out there, I would feel that if you reconstruct it on the same footprint, you know, whatever the extent of the remodel is on the same footprint, on the same property, I would think would be okay. Repair, remodel, whatever needs to happen there, but once you expand on the use or try to make the building bigger or something different than that, opens up that next level of, where are we now? So,
But with that next level, that would be in the form of a BZA approval for a variance
for a multi-unit family in a R2 zone.
Yeah.
Historically, that's gonna be a tough pill.
Right, I mean, and that's what we expressed to him, that keeping it on that same footprint and, was pretty much probably the only way that was where it's located in the neighborhood, and, you never know, I guess, never say never, but that was.
Yeah.
So it's always been.
I just wanna have us, as in Unsafe and the building department, have an answer for him on direction forward on, so there's a clear understanding, so it's not, told that, hey, yeah, come in front of BZA, everything should be good, or not, we don't know, because there's always a chance.
They need to present us with a plan like we told them when we were out there. We're not gonna, until we know.
I would
advise them, but until they give us a plan, we can say what ifs.
Yeah,
So, that falls in their court.
I would really like to see this, personally, I'd like to see this deferred. We are planning on having the new planning director on board, by December 30th. And I think with, him on board, with everything going through that process now, would possibly be a big help for everyone, especially with communication between the petitioner and the building department and whatever board necessary. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess, like I said, historically, even from a plan commission standpoint, we've been consistent, and I understand legal non-conforming, and there's a lot of that in our town.
Yes.
And I feel like I need to be flexible with that because there's so much gray area.
Yeah,
in town.
and I see that, and I think it's, it's not like somebody coming into an R2 trying for a whole new change to go to an RM to put a 4-unit on it when it was a vacant lot, or if it was a single-family resident, but since this is a current 4-unit, that to me, it's I don't wanna say leniency, but it almost is, because it's been for 50-plus years.
Well, for me, there's not leniency though, because
Okay.
I consider it legal non-conforming, which it's been forever.
Right.
And we've been consistent with that as far as
Okay.
the footprint goes. I would have a hard time saying it's okay for you to now double your size, and now you've got a,
Yeah.
same 4-unit, but
And I
double
don't,
the square footage. I'd have a hard time with that.
and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he was, when he made the question, it was to be double. It was just more, I can't say economical either. It was the fact that since it has a rear entry on second level in some spots, front on others, and just all over the place, what is it, 3 1-bedrooms, 1 2-bedroom or something like that?
Something like that, but yeah, I mean, and again, that's why he was advised to come up with a game plan. And, you know, as looking at it from the building department standpoint, if we have a decent foundation and he makes that a crawl space and puts a new 4-unit building on there versus trying to fix something that's so far down the road that it's, you know, I mean, we're all better off to try to get it as fixed as good as possible. But I agree with Heather that once you increase on the footprint or try to make bigger units in that same area, even if he has to, you know, lessen to a 3-unit building to make, you know, that footprint work.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's multiple, you know, you can always go down. So, I mean, there's things that can be done, and I still think he needs to stay in that footprint. Like she said, you have legal non-conforming, but it should kind of...
Let me ask you this question, Tim. I know there's rules with occupancy and how long that legal non-conforming stays a thing, Mr. Austin, whoever can answer the question. If it's not been occupied for 4 months and we're rolling on 6 months, how does that work?
6 months, you use abate.
So it's no longer legal non-conforming, it goes back to
You can lose
R2.
its status by inaction, lack of use.
How about if they're still paying 4 current sewer bills? Does that have any bearing on it?
They might argue that, I wouldn't, there's no occupancy. Because you're paying a sewer bill, and a lot of that has happened in our town too.
Okay.
And I'm going back just through my head thinking about 4 months, but it's been months. It could be 6, I don't know. It's been a while. So the legal non-conforming could be a non-issue.
It could be a non-issue, or it could be in perpetuity. We have to have the fact pattern,
Meaning the occupancy date,
or lack of it.
which we have on the minutes, because we were told when she moved out. There was 1 unit occupied.
Then when you move out, you know?
I know that they've been dwindling as trying to get electric services turned back on. We've not allowed any, because of the shape of the building, we've not granted any electric. I don't have any idea of the occupancy. I always was under the impression that the 6-month rule was for like special uses and stuff, not so much that legal non-conforming, but
There's a section of the zoning law.
part of that, yeah. So-
Well, it came up with a couple other properties on the plan commission level, which is why I asked the question about it.
Yeah, I think that, I don't even know, I know the last time they got a permit, which has been quite a while ago, to do an electric turn-on inspection, that the sewer bills were paid up and that stuff was complete, because we don't go do that unless that's current, but that's been quite a while ago. At least 8 months, I would say, since that happened, but like you said, somebody was living still in one of those units, so
Yeah.
I don't know the date.
That didn't get us anywhere.
Hopefully a new somebody gets it and does something. Is that the guys we met out there?
Yes, it is. And that's why he was wanting to come into the building department seeking direction on what was gonna be allowed, what wasn't. And that's why I kinda figured we had to discuss this, had to figure out what, what direction was going. I mean, especially with the fact that I was, how you and I explained to him that if he built it on existing and stuff like that, he would be okay. But, I mean, is that still the case then?
A lot of what ifs.
A lot of what ifs.
It's not here, I mean, we have no idea.
Yeah.
So until they come with a plan or bring something in or whatever, we can't really, I mean, we can speculate all day, but
Yeah.
we don't know what their intent is or what their plan is, or.
So when that happens, when they come with a plan, that will go in front of the plan commission at that point?
Good.
It would depend on what they're doing, I guess.
Yes.
If they're just, I mean, if they were remodeling or reconstructing on that footprint, and that would be where the legal non-conforming, if it's not conforming anymore, then they would have to either go to the BZA or, it would depend, you know, I mean, I guess if the legal non-conforming use was gone, then they would have to go to the BZA for to multi-use in a R2 zoning. I wouldn't think it would have to go to the planning commission for anything, just because it would be a single building, so I think a lot of record, I don't think it needs, you know, it wouldn't need like a one-lot subdivision, and I don't know that for a fact, because I mean, we looked at the building, I didn't look at all of the whole thing as a whole, because we've had nothing submitted to anything, so it's kind of hard to
So best
answer.
case scenario would be legal non-conforming, but not anymore because of the time frame, and then they would have to come in front of the BZA as an R2 looking for an RM.
Zone change.
But either way, it would go in front of them.
If the legal non-conforming use is deemed to be gone, then yes. We'd have to go for a zone change out, you know.
Zoning ordinance is 6 months.
For occupancy.
Discontinuation of use, abandonment or discontinuation.
Yeah, a little bit of
So
a
if they still
situation.
have the
Yeah.
power onto a unit and paying their sewer bill, and is that considered discontinued of use, or if they, or, I mean, I think they still have power to one unit or less, if they had heat on.
Fact pattern is that simple. I would advise that the use has been discontinued, notwithstanding the sewer line still being there.
Well, and the story with businesses that we've dealt with in the plan commission level is that if it's not occupied, then it's,
Discontinued.
yeah.
Right.
So they're still paying the NIPSCO and the sewer and the
Mhm.
parking lot's plowed, that's fine,
So
but there's no one in.
let's remember, there's a reason sometimes folks do that, and that is so if we have a policy here in the sewer utility that if you turn off and close your service, you have to, when you seek to reconnect, you're back to an impact fee, back to a tap fee, and the cost of reconnection.
Mhm.
And so folks, a lot of times,
She paid a bill,
pay the bill and
$4,000.
right. And they can go a while then and be underneath the cost of redoing it. You see that a lot, I think. You do for your department.
Right off the.
But that's different than the discontinuation of use.
I still think it's gonna be key to, sit down and talk with Mr. Rhodes in the building department on actual intent on what he's really wanting to do and what his plan is. You know, since they decreased the price and then the deal went through, from my understanding, I think, almost a deferral until we direct him to come in and, discuss his plans with the building department.
Did the closing happen? I mean, it looks on the MLS it's canceled, so to me, it's not, I don't know in the history of anything I've worked with in the MLS that you cancel a listing if it closes. Normally that listing has it's a contract, so you can't just cancel it and close it.
And there's no, I just checked the recorder's office, there's no deeds or anything that's been recorded either.
Okay.
Because, expired makes sense, it runs out of time, and then if it's under contract, that's one thing, but canceled is strange to me. It makes me think it's not closed.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I could probably reach out, to him tomorrow to find out if he did close, if he had a date, or what, if it is proposed closing, or what, or anything like that.
The last we heard from her, though, is that that they were gonna be on Zoom, correct?
Yeah, I thought, was that
So the Volos, they called me, Eric called me this afternoon, said they weren't gonna be able to be on Zoom. So that's why I printed out that last email for Rich. That's been like the last communication that they have in regards to this property.
Got it. Yeah, because I thought they said they were gonna be on the next Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was communication between Tony and the Vogels, because Tony reached out to them, because, as Tony said, they were being inundated with calls and stuff like that on
Yeah,
what can be done. I think I shared that email with everyone.
I was CC'd on something as well, yeah.
Yeah. Any direction, type of emotion, any thoughts?
Doesn't sound like there's much we can do, really, until we get some more information.
This last letter, though, just says that he was a potential buyer.
The info that I see online just shows that the listing was removed, again, which is not really consistent with the closing occurring.
On the MLS, it says canceled. There's, closed, canceled, expired. Open escrow on 12/6, supposed to close before 12/23.
So it is kind of odd for the cancellation, but, could the listing have been canceled prior, or well, not prior, but could the listing have been canceled with,
It was canceled on 12/10.
what, there's an anticipated closing on the 23rd?
I mean, for now, I don't really want to see the building department or anyone else waste time on a potential buyer.
I understand that part, I just don't know if he were to be the buyer and does close on this, then to what extent, I mean, he still would have to come in with plans to the building department.
Right.
Why don't you just issue the demo order and let them either do something or get it torn down?
Well, if, as Heather said, with the potential closing on the 23rd, I would really not want to start the process on issuing a demo order until after we get clear if he is the owner, not the owner, or what, with, to not spend the money to issue a demo order, if that makes sense to you guys.
No, yeah, it makes sense. I don't want to spend the money unnecessarily. They weren't at the last meeting. They're not at this meeting.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting a lot of emails with information that we don't know if true or not. So I feel like we need to reach out to the owners and let them know they need to be on the next call, or,
Are these people in California or something?
yeah.
Yes. And I know, like I said, Mr. Rhodes was trying to get as much of his due diligence done. So maybe just a simple phone call to him with a more clear understanding.
To the owners,
Well, I think just reaching out to Mr. Rhodes, with the clear understanding of the occupancy being 6 months, and tell him that this is how it would have to be. It'd have to be exact footprint. And I guess we'll just have to have that discussion with him for clarity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
So,
I would still say that we almost need just to defer it till the 15th. And then we should have our answers whether he is gonna purchase it. He will have more than likely 100% of his due diligence done by then, prior to that 23rd, and then if that did fall through, then we could do a demo order on the 15th. Start the process that way.
Yeah, we'd have to order title and
Yeah.
go through that.
I think I'd feel more comfortable with that route.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So who's contacting the owners then?
I can.
And just letting them, they have to be on the next call.
I can because I do have their number as well. I have the owners and the potential buyer that has the escrow.
Yeah.
So I can contact both of them to make it very clear to them. Okay. So, with all of that talk, anybody like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, to defer to January 15th, with instruction to contact the owner and let them know they need to be on the call on January 15th.
Yes. Whichever owner it may be, if they go through with the sale, if not, whoever owns the property's gotta be here on the Zoom on the 15th.
Correct.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion to defer, with instruction to contact the owner that they will have to appear at the January 15th meeting, made by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Tim?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. I took a little longer than planned.
Usually do.
Yeah, item number 4, 7500 West 129th Lane, Atterburn.
How are you?
Good, name and address for the record, please.
It's 502 West South Street, Round Point. It's my daughter's house.
Yep.
How's it going there?
Good. You need an update or something, just
Yes, please.
All right. So I got the roof, soffit, fascia's all done. Permit's closed on that. All the siding's patched up for the winter. Most likely she's gonna replace some siding next year. And put stone on the front because she wants it to look nice. I got a permit for doors and windows. Also put a new well pump in, extended the pipe at the request of Mr. Gatto. So it's now a completely sealed system, wrapped with heat tape and insulation. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
That's a big update.
It is.
But yeah, he was pretty happy with it last time. Well, they came out for a site inspection. Mr. Gatto came out and another gentleman, I don't know his name.
Eddie Paul, probably? You weren't there, were you, Tim? Yeah.
But yeah, they seemed pretty happy with it, so, yeah.
So,
So I just need to know what the next thing I need to do, or what you guys want me to do, or...
So Tim, how familiar are you with all the stuff that's been done on it, with any of the inspections?
A little bit. I mean, I think that he's made enough progress now to be off of the, you know what I mean, being that the roof is done, and, I mean, I think they can be off of this list with the intent that they're gonna keep moving forward on finishing, you know, but I think that get it weatherproofed and sealed up, and, you know, that part of it was huge on, I didn't see if Tony took any fresh pictures of it or not.
Just for the record, the findings on here, can I read these and you can just confirm they're done?
Sure.
Yards littered with junk and vegetation is badly overgrown, I know you took care of that. Missing fascia boards, fascia covering have been exposed, non-exterior grade lumber to weather elements and cause rot to occur.
All fixed.
Soffit pans are missing or pulled down in several areas, which allows varmints and birds to enter.
Yep, all fixed.
One of the rear windows is held in place by a great stuff type product,
That's,
not sealed.
permit, so I got permit for that.
An area in the back wall of the house is missing siding,
Fixed,
and there is a hole leading into the attic.
fixed.
Elevated deck on the west side of the house has gone so long without maintenance, it's growing vegetation on the surface.
That's gone, all the vegetation.
Area of concern, with an undetermined foundation footing on the southwest corner of the house.
Yeah, they came out and checked that, and said everything's good on it.
Tony did?
Yeah, Tony and, I can't
Andy
remember.
Paul.
Yeah, and then it just says the house is vacant, which encourages vandalism, squatters, et cetera.
Right.
But
Well, yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is a good case of how things should go.
Absolutely, I agree.
He's done everything we've asked of him, and now you're with the building department. What open space do you have now?
Just doors and windows. I'm gonna replace whatever I see fit,
Okay.
yeah.
I personally don't see any reason why he needs to be on this, or your daughter needs to be on this list anymore.
I agree.
I agree.
I don't even think it needs to be an update item at this point. It's
No.
in the building department's hands.
Agree.
Do you want to come back and see us, or?
if you'd like.
No. No. I'd like to make a motion to remove 7500 West 129th Lane from our agenda and leave it in the hands of the building department.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to remove this item, and, by Ms. Dessauer, and, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the work you've done
Doing
on
the
it.
right thing, we appreciate it.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Merry
You
Christmas
too.
to you.
Moving on to item number 5, 8705 West 132nd Place, Kubiak Properties.
I'm here. The 8705, we have the plans in and the permits picked up. I think it has until 1/26 to be demoed, so the demo part was good for 60 days as requested by you guys. PGX's demo house in South Shore, that's the next place on his list, so that should be done here. I doubt before Christmas, just because it's Christmas, but, possibly, but it's permits done and it'll be done here shortly. And on the way to being back together.
And then your plans are to rebuild as well?
Yep. That's permit.
With the smaller house, right, like the 2-2 or 2-1? I know you guys talked about like a 2-story at some point, but then you scaled it
And
back
it's
down.
going to be 2 bedrooms and 1, yeah, it's the same exact footprint as there. Same thing, just fixing it, but there's really not much there left to fix, so.
And we talked about the driveway, you're gonna make a driveway, that's the plan still?
Yes. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, though, there possibly could end up being a garage or something, I don't, you know, I mean, we kind of rushed the plan, but I'm sure there's gonna end up being some type of garage to the one side of it before it's all said and done, just because it would make it a better, you know, at the end of the day, there's plenty of room for one, and that'd probably be what happens, so.
Okay. So at this point, we would just need a deferral?
Yeah, and I'm thinking since the demo permit, is, till the January 26th, our next meeting being the 15th, what's everybody's thoughts as far as, doing a 60-day to the 19th meeting, and then of course, if it's down before that, hopefully it'd be down before the January 15th meeting, to where if we were made aware of it, then it could be removed at that time.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be down before the 60 days for sure, so, no problem.
I mean,
It'll be
well,
down.
I was just wondering, since it expires on the 26th,
Right.
you know, I don't wanna do, and say by the 15th, and then,
Oh,
God
no,
forbid, we get
whatever,
some
it'll be
crappy
done.
weather or something like that, and
There's nothing gonna slow it down, so it'll be done, no problem.
so the 30 days is good then?
Yeah, it'll be done by the time it's had for the permit to, I mean, the 60-day time frame is either the 19th or the 26th, I believe, but either way, it'll be done.
Well, I'm just saying, 'cause our next unsafe meeting is the 15th of January, and so now you're talking 11 days past, you know, or actually prior to your permit expiring.
Whatever you wanna do, you can hunt me down, but it'll be down by then, so. I mean, the machine is going from South Shore to that house right now, so it's in the motion.
Okay.
And that house is being, I think they finished demoing that thing today, so it's not, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
permits there, it's scheduled, there's no, I mean, I don't think there's nothing to slow it down at this point, so it'll be done. It may even be done before Christmas, to tell you the truth, because we still have a week.
Whatever anybody feels comfortable, just.
Yeah, either way, I mean, it's gonna be down, I mean, you'll be notified that it's down before the next meeting, so.
All right. We'll do a deferral to the January 15th meeting then, and then just keep it posted.
Yep.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to defer, this item to the January 15th meeting by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. All right, item 6, 12611 Klein Avenue, Kubiak Properties.
Got that, we're making progress, we got the electric service in, we got a storage container out there, mounted electric service inside of that, so it can't be messed with by kids or whatever, but, that's done, I met NIPSCO out there, They gotta put a new transformer in out there, and as soon as we get the release, which he just did finish the electric service today, so we can get that inspected, and then that should be hooked up, and then, we're gonna get those lights on the corners of the building and the cameras up, and then, once that's done, then work on getting that gate up at the front. A new gate of sorts in the front yard, so. And there's actually a couple, after cleaning up the drive going all the way back, there's actually 2 poles with lights on them up the driveway too, that hopefully we can find where that electric goes to and get those on also, so that's the hope. It's all mowed down around the building up there now. We got that, cleaned up right around the immediate building, and so we're making progress slowly but steadily, so.
We talked at one of the meetings about the need to be able to get back there
Mhm.
if the fire or police or whoever needs. So during the winter time, will there be a path back to the building?
There's a road.
Snowplow.
I think that the more you keep clearing, the more we're inviting people back there, but there's nothing to burn in that building. The building's secured, the building is 100% made of concrete. In the past, before we had it all closed up, you could see where kids had bonfires inside of the building. There's nothing combustible in that building at all. I know the roof is secured now, if somebody took 10 gallons of gas and poured it on that tar up on the roof, I could see maybe something, but there's no possible way anything can burn on that thing. There's zero combustible anything. No wood, no sticks, it's all concrete, the whole building,
Yep.
steel. There's nothing there that could catch fire.
I think the concern more was if for safety, if someone does get back there and gets hurt or...
Yeah, and the building is secured. I thought that was the point of us having the cameras and the lights. And again, if it snows and I don't want to commit to snow plowing a driveway to nowhere for the entire winter. If it snows over 2 feet and you can't get back there, I can agree to plow it. I'm not gonna plow it every time we get 2 inches of snow, and I don't think that's a reasonable request, but I just don't, since we've gotten the building secured and since we've had it, it took them about a year to get the first metal off the window and get inside. I go there every month and make sure that it's been secured and they can't get up on the roof is closed. I feel that it's pretty well contained, everything is, if they do pry off that piece of wire again and can get into the building, they gotta go through that big heavy steel aluminum plate that's bolted from the top side of the roof, and I would know they were in there before they could get through that, so, it's fairly...
How will access be through the gate then? So when the gate does get put in place, as far as emergency services, whether it be an officer or fire or anything like that?
There is a Knox box on the pole right now with a key to the gate.
Okay.
I don't know whatever they want to do. I believe that there's electricity running from the building all the way up to the road. There's a pole there and there's a pole halfway down the driveway. In a perfect world, it'd be cool to have something where it just had a gate that would open. If there's power that's accessible, that'll go. It's a half a mile, or it's a long way from the road to where the power pole is. So, at the very least, there'd be that Knox box with the key to the gate, which is already there. So it's easily.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on both sides thinking for the fact of having it plowed for safety personnel. I understand what you're saying about inviting, if you have it plowed, but if the gate is there, then it's really not inviting. Does that kind of answer your, because I would rather see if there was a foot of snow in emergency, whether it be an officer, say kids walk back there, get hurt, there's a foot of snow, I would say it needs to be accessible, but I don't know what, I guess that would be more of a legal question though.
I look at all of the places in town that somebody could get hurt, that's in the middle of the woods, or somebody falls in a tree stand, or, there's no trespassing signs posted, there's no way to be back there, like I said, I was under the impression that we were getting this fence down and getting the lights on and the cameras to try to, you know, get through the moratorium time and get time to establish a plan to do something with it. I guess
Right.
and again, if there's a reasonable request, I don't have any, you know, I mean, I just feel like, I mean, it's not that huge of a deal, but I feel like maintaining its snow plowed path all the way to the back is kind of
Yeah.
more inviting, and then where do you stop, or where do you?
Well, that was my concern is, as far as, Mr. Dilmeyer, what legal, grounds would we have to tell him he has to plow his driveway?
Well, I mean, you're getting into kind of a little bit of a gray area because it doesn't directly relate to the unsafe condition. However, the property is, for lack of a better term, an attractive nuisance. It has been for decades,
30, yeah.
as far as I understand it. So, you know, maybe there's some basis, you're splitting hairs, right? It's whether you want it plowed in case something bad happens, which then in turn invites more people back there, or you say, you know, deal with it as you see fit, and then somebody gets hurt and then he has to deal with it. I mean, from a public safety standpoint, you've requested that they secure the property, they have cameras, but for the fence being down, I mean, how much do you require a property owner to button up every single part of their property to make sure that somebody doesn't go back there and do something silly?
Right.
That's
I mean, the building needs to be secured, and we agree 100%, the cameras and the lights are a great idea, you know what I mean? But I guess, I mean, I know that these cameras are, you know, I don't know what, the cameras are supposed to be able to be accessed from your phone if there's activity back there. I don't know if the police are gonna get called back there if somebody is back there, then, you know, if that is something that we see that's gonna be happening, obviously, we're going to plow the road so we can, you know, I mean, if we detect activity that is happening back there, then I would definitely agree with, you know, but if we do this and put lights and cameras, and it's, you know, it's like it seems like it is now, there's, you know, every once in a while, I think somebody may go back there to say, hey, there's a haunted thing back here, but there's no sign, I mean, there's nothing there to dictate that there's been kids up there doing, you know, I mean, there's no piles of cans, there's no, you know, there's no signs of anything. So the thing is secured, you walk around the building. Norm Stick lives across the street, and he walks there every morning, walks around with his dog and walks the whole property and kind of looks and see, you know, and there's been no, you know, nothing going on. I mean, not to say that, you know, I mean, obviously that's not anything, but there's been no reports from the police department people over there. There's been nobody ever since that new wire was repaired about 2 months ago, and there's no dents on it, no crinkles. Nobody's been trying to get in there. I just, like I said, I just don't see anything, and if we do find that with the cameras and stuff, we'll plow the road, and obviously if people are back there and we need to be able to get police back there to get them out of there, they're trespassing, then obviously we'll do whatever we need to do to accommodate that, so.
But you're not gonna go plow for just 2 inches, just...
I hope not, but I mean,
There'd be no need for that, I
feel like we're getting to that point of, you know, I mean, and again, I don't wanna do anything wrong, and I don't want I wanna be real, and I don't wanna make promises that I feel are, you know, I feel that the lighting and the fence looked terrible, looks a million times better without it, and I feel that the lighting and the camera is a security, you know, I mean, I feel like you guys have basis of asking for that, and we're doing it, you know, I guess, I feel that we're to that point where we get this stuff done, and you know, it'll be monitored and make sure everything keeps like that, and if we get reports of trespassers, or we should be able to get some people's pictures on cameras if they're back there.
Yeah.
And then be able to follow up and kind of, you know, take it from there, so.
Yeah, I don't think you need to plow if there's 2 inches. My wish, and it probably can't be enforced, and that's totally fine, would be that a fire or police could get back there if they need. I mean, that's for me and for you guys. I mean, God forbid something happen back there and no one can access. I'm not worried about the place burning down more than someone getting hurt, and then an ambulance or whoever can't get back there. That would be my wish, that there would be, if there's a foot of snow, there's some sort of path to the back. That's all I got.
This is still an action item as far as what we're gonna do. When did you say again the cameras and lights were supposed to be finished?
Well, we just got the electric, so that'll, I'm in the same boat as everybody else with the NIPSCO deal, but we should be, I mean, it's an overhead service, which is normally faster than, you know, getting these things terminated seems to be a nightmare, but, I had them out there and they looked at the condition of what is going back there, and somebody actually took an axe and chopped down the telephone that had the transformer. Can't make this stuff up, but, so that needs to be replaced. But it looks like a long, long time ago, like it's not like a fresh chop down, but it's chopped down with the axe, the pole and transformers laying in the woods, but, so that, they need to replace, and they said that once I send in this release for the service, that wall will be rolling, so I'm hoping that, you know, within the next 30 days or so, the power should be on, so that'll be just a matter of getting the cameras, and we gotta run a pipe from the parking lot into the building, and then we're gonna put like a light on each corner, like some kind of, I don't know if we're gonna put some motion lights up or some lights that are on all the time, I don't know what's gonna be the best avenue, but, we'll figure that out, and then the cameras, I guess, work in the dark or in the, you know, they should be able to be, they have a cellular thing that you can monitor what goes on there, and hopefully.
I guess the main question is, what I'll ask is, what's the board's decision on, I prefer leaving it on active unsafe versus moving it to an update. What's everybody's thoughts on that?
Oh, no, I think it needs to be active for sure.
Okay.
That's good.
I just figured we needed to start there at least to keep moving forward. At this point, what, are you looking for deferral possibly, or any other decisions? What's your guys' thoughts?
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of things in the works, which I appreciate. He's gonna be here on the 15th for the other property, so I would appreciate an update on the 15th on this one as well.
Okay.
So my suggestion would be a deferral until January 15th.
Okay, will that be your motion then?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to defer this to the January 15th meeting by Ms. Dessauer, second by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Item number 7, 14616 Dewey Street, Frick. Hello, name and address for the record, please.
Tom Crick, 8008 West 146th Avenue, Sealand.
All right, any update for us?
Yeah, they've been out there, they got the property staked. But I still haven't heard any more about as far as engineering and, with the house and the elevations on the lot.
Do you mean staked for the easement or staked for your house? What's staked?
Property line stakes,
So your own surveyors, you're saying?
yes.
But nothing else with any plans moving forward as far as with the new house that you'd be putting on there? I mean,
I got plans, I'm working with a builder now, he's trying to get me some numbers. I've already talked to one builder, but, his numbers were way too high. Way too high for vinyl siding. I'm just trying to, get some numbers up and, I know it's gonna cost so much to build a house. And the lumber's really, it's skyrocketing.
and I wanna say that just, I believe these photos of the, crawl or the lower portion of the house is not current. I thought I'd seen current photos somewhere. But you did have the lower section closed off, right?
I closed it in, yes.
Yeah.
I showed you that photo, some are my photos.
So is the house still being used as storage?
There's stuff in there, yeah. That's gotta be moved out.
I mean, nothing else on the findings part of this report has been taken care of except for the crawl space access, correct?
I would have to agree with that.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other items on here?
What items?
On the unsafe report, the original unsafe report.
I don't have a copy of that.
Can we make sure Mr. Brick gets a copy of the unsafe report? So you don't plan to demo? You don't plan to demo the property, correct?
Yes, I will.
You're waiting on plans to rebuild?
Yes. I mean, to get permits to build, yes. I need to get the permits to build, to demo.
No, I know the process, this has been since, this report dates back to 2022.
Now,
Correct.
I have a question for building department. Tim, this is a actual larger lot, so there really should be nothing that would hold him up from demoing it that would restrict, Mr. Frick from moving forward with the house, because of the size of the lots, right? I'm assuming it was, what, 100 wide by 120 or 30 deep? So it's plenty big. It's not like it's a
25 by,
25 by something that he would have to have the new plans, as he's doing a demo in conjunction with like other places, like, you know, that we have on here that are tiny lots, the 37.5 one. That one has to be done in conjunction.
yeah.
This does not pertain to that, right?
Correct.
There's one front yard, so you're talking,
this
what,
should be no
7
problem
foot,
fitting
7
the
foot
house up.
setbacks on 3 sides? That's a pretty big house. So there's no reason you couldn't demo the property, is what we're saying. You
Yeah, but-
could rebuild a huge house and not have any issues.
No, that's not the problem. Isn't there a time limit from the time I demo?
Only if you want to keep the same footprint of the home. So this applies more to lots that are
More like
very,
legal non-conforming type?
very small lots. Think old lots.
And you don't have a foundation to reuse anyway, you would just have to continue to pay your sewer bill until which time you built and you're good. You wouldn't have to pay that.
I thought there was a
Sewer
time
development
limit I had to do.
On certain homes there are, and those would be on the ones that are, a restriction on the size. Like there's some on the north side that's actually on the list, it's 37.5 foot wide. If that house were to be leveled prior to an approved plan coming through, they would not be allowed to build. Yours does not fall under that case. It could be torn down in, you know, tomorrow, and you could take a year to build,
Or 2,
or 2.
or 10.
There's no restrictions on that lot.
That's not what, prior to this meet, before you telling me I had 60 days, otherwise I'd have to conform to, what is this?
A one-lot subdivision.
Yes.
Would he still have to do a one-lot subdivision?
No, he has lots 33 and 34, so he's good.
So it wouldn't apply either.
Well, why is it?
There's no reason that you can't just tear this down and rebuild in 5 years or, whatever. And the only negative would be if you tore it down and terminated the sewer and stopped paying your sewer bill, then when you rebuilt, you would have to pay that $4,000 development charge to reconnect to the sewer fee. But other than that.
But he can continue to pay a sewer bill
And be good.
even if the house is
5
torn down.
years, 10 years, yeah, there's no limit on it. If you actively pay the bill and it's current, you don't lose that tap, as long as you continue to pay for it.
What we're saying is if you demo the home, Whenever you want to rebuild, you just have to go by our current standards for that, which you have one front yard, so there's a setback associated with that, and then setbacks associated with the rest of the lot. But your lot is so big, unless you were building some sort of ginormous mansion, it would fit within those requirements.
And you wouldn't be given any special treatment anyway, because where the house is located on the lot, he doesn't have a side, a zero side yard, or you don't have anything there, so, like, your house right now conforms to all setbacks that are required, so you're not like saving off, like others said, you have room to build,
What house
so.
are you talking about, the one I want to build?
No, the one that's existing, it's not, it's more than 8 feet off of the side yard, and it's 30 feet off the road, and it's in the footprint that it
I'm
encompasses.
not planning on building, I'm having at least twice the size of that house.
Right.
And I don't think he's gonna have any issue with lot coverage or anything like that unless it was to be a monster.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you have any issues with anything you plan on building there, you're gonna have to go for a variance, whether this is here or not, which I don't anticipate you having any. Like Heather said, you could build a large house here, double the size of this without any setback requirements, without any problem. But that could be tore down tomorrow, and it does not make any difference. It's actually a plus, because it's gone, and then you can do what you gotta do later. If you're not planning on building for a while, and the cost of new construction has went up by 30% in the last year.
Well, I'd like to find out about that, because prior to tonight, I was under the understanding that if I tore the house down before I had my permit to build a new one, that I'd have to be conformed to all different kinds of standards.
Yep.
But he has.
He's letting me talk at your place.
He doesn't have any bonuses.
That's on some of the cases. On yours, that was, I know we discussed the easements on the side, and then when I talked with the building department, knowing that there's plenty of room on the sides with your setbacks and stuff, that is not an issue. Because we do have, the majority of the ones on here do kind of fall under that category.
So where do I get this copy of this?
I mean, we have two members of our legal team here. Would it make you feel more comfortable to hear it from them?
I would like to have something in writing. I mean, you got these, it's in writing, right?
So,
The proposed easement? Or what are we talking about? What's in writing?
He wants, I guess, to hear that if he takes the house down, that he doesn't have to rebuild within 6 months. Since he's not keeping the same footprint of the old home.
And I'm not, being that one lot subdivision.
You could just look at our R2 zoning requirements. You have a lot that's over, you have a 10,000 square foot lot, and you meet the requirements. There's nothing to hinder you from building.
I mean, it's not a meets and bounds parcel.
Correct, it's lots 33 and 34, so. I mean, if you look in our R2 zoning, that's what you can bid to on that property. It meets that minimum size.
Now, if it were a meets and bounds, he would be required for a one lot? And
It's
it's,
changing, once you're changing over 25% of the structure.
right, he wouldn't be doing that.
Right, yes. But he doesn't have that situation. This is a house, existing house. If he was making a 25% change to the property and had a meets and bounds, then he would need to.
So with that said, then, Mr. Frick, then, since you said you'd like to see it in writing, is that something, Tim, that he can come in tomorrow to get that, information on what it would require him, to come in and get, whatever permit and plans he'd have to present to the building department for his own assurity, knowing that it wasn't the 6-month stuff? So he has the documentation.
Well, he wouldn't have to propose plans. He would be coming in to ask for a demo permit and get the documentation of our R2 zoning, correct?
Yeah, it's available. That whole ordinance is online.
Can you guys print that up for him so he has that?
I can't, but yes, we can. When you say me, no. Cheryl, yeah.
Yeah.
That's above my skill level.
Does that make sense?
Well, it does, And I was under the impression all this time that I had to have, building built in order to tear it down, so I didn't get, so I didn't have to, conform with, the new standards or whatever it is. You know, like if it was,
Yeah, 'cause you won't have to put a sidewalk in.
That would be a,
Is that?
No, he has to build a house that meets the R2 zoning requirements, which you have to have 400 square foot attached garage, and the minimum square footage that's allowed for each, a two-story ranch, regardless, is all in that ordinance, but that's it. There's no, I mean, you still have to, if you're tearing this down and building a new house, your new house is going to conform to new guidelines. It's a new house. There's not remodeling, there's nothing here to save, so you're essentially eliminating this and putting up a new one. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people leave things up if there's, like, there's small lots, you know, to help you get a variance for, it doesn't bypass anything, but it's kind of like, hey.
There'd be no restrictions.
We're gonna take this from 3 feet off the line and put it 6 feet and put a new house up. It helps kind of to make what your new thing, but you, in this situation, there's no benefit to you keeping this at all.
No,
I know we've
I'm not, are you keeping, I'm not planning on keeping the house.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. There's no benefit to you keeping this any longer than you need to, you can tear this down and put grass seed down and have a buildable piece of property. This is buildable, so there's no, you know what I mean, if you build this year or next year, 5 years, 10 years, it's a bit, I guess I shouldn't say that because who knows what rules will change, but should be a buildable piece of property being 100 foot. I don't think our R2's standards would increase beyond where they are.
No, I get that part. I just don't want it to be where now I gotta put in a sidewalk, now I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
You're not, these are 2 legal lots of record in this subdivision, so there's no re-subdivision or subdivision necessary to build on these. That's only if you have to take a meets and bounds parcel and re-subdivide it and go through that process. These are already legal lots of record.
he wouldn't even come in front of the plan commission. You
No.
would get a demo permit, you demo the property, put grass seed down, that's the only requirement, right? After you demo, put grass seed down, and you could leave that property for as long as you want. You'd never have to come back in front of the plan commission,
Unsafe plan.
or the unsafe, or anyone.
Well, we still have to go in front of people for the permits, right?
No, you have to go to the building department with a plan.
Well, he'd have to go to the building department.
Well, he just wants for demo, he doesn't need the plans for demo, he just wants the demo permit.
Correct.
I've got plans for a house, I think.
Right, but you wouldn't need to provide that for
I had
them.
everything ready to go, so I could say, yes, I'm ready to build this house,
You're not.
get a demo permit.
You don't need that. You do your demo first, and then, I mean, if you want to bring in your plans, what are you proposing putting there? I mean, I could look at them for you and assure you that that fits on the lot, because until I see what you're talking about, it's hard to say. I mean, I would imagine it would, but until I see them, you know, I can't tell you for sure. But if you show me the plan that you're planning on putting there, but again, there's no benefit to this. You don't have any benefit. All you have is coming to this meeting every month by having this here, so there's no, unless you'd like to come to this meeting once a month, but that's the only benefit you're getting by leaving it here, is coming to this meeting every month.
That's correct.
Just go to the building department, get a demo permit tomorrow if you want.
Get the, literature that he needs for his assurance on the R2 lot. Cheryl, you can have that ready for him, or would that be, Michelle do that, or would you do that?
I'm not sure if Michelle will be in tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We'll get it for him.
We'll get it for him.
Someone will.
Yeah.
We'll figure it, we'll get it together between whoever.
Yeah.
So I guess the question, if you feel comfortable after you read the literature and after what we said on the record as far as the demo goes, would you be willing to demo this property? Then you'd be done with us, done with the meeting, and then you could build when you were ready.
I guess so.
I mean, until that happens, you'll have to come back here in 30 days.
No, I understand that, but that's why I haven't pushed on demo until I got it, until I had everything. So I didn't have the, was online.
To do the one lot.
And whatever,
So-
whatever, because I was under the impression that I should not do that until I got the house ready, or the new plans ready. What I was gonna do approved.
Well, it sounds like it was a miscommunication or somebody, you didn't understand completely, but you don't need what you're saying you need. Just demo now, and when you're ready, get all your plans, come back and get approval and build your new house. You can just go ahead and have it torn down tomorrow if you want, if you get the permit.
Well, I was under impression.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
60 days.
I couldn't tell you that one. Now you got a new direction to go.
Yeah. I'm not aware of it.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, I'm ready for a motion. I'd like to make a motion to allow the building department to issue a building permit, should Mr. Frick come in the next 30 days before the next meeting, and a deferral until the January 15th meeting.
Did you mean a demo permit? Did you say building permit?
He did.
You said.
Did I say building? Demo permit.
Demo, yeah. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer, for, Mr. Frick comes in, gets his demo permit, that the building department would issue it, that the staff would, provide Mr. Frick with any literature he needs, for the R2, zoning, and defer this to the, January 15th meeting.
Correct.
All right, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. All right. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Moving on to item,
Tom, are you gonna stick around for just a few minutes until Don gets here? He's supposed to be coming with a little diagram for you.
That's fine, I mean, I've worked 24 hours, I haven't any sleep yet, I'm trying to, because I gotta get back to work at 4 in the morning, so how
Okay.
long is this gonna be?
Well, he'll be here for the 7 o'clock meeting.
So about 15 minutes.
we're moving on to item number 8, 7303 West 129th Avenue, Fouch.
Okay. Well, I can give you what we proposed. I thought you wanted an illustration.
Name and address for the record,
We
please.
just gotta-
Project House, 15430, Merrill Avenue, South Holland, Illinois.
Minutes, we can give them to you, if not.
All right, Mr. Fouch, what do you have going on with this? Any updates for us?
I've got my permit for, starting on the siding and that,
Sure.
as soon as I can get, out there and start, leveling out the lines and that. And been cleaning up, been sealing up any cracks and that with, insulation and that. Basically, that's it. Doing what I can.
All right, Tim, do you have any update from the building department on this one?
I do not, and I'm trying to look at the pictures here now, but I don't know that I know which one this is. I know,
The main thing on this one was the foundation, and I know Tony had gone back out there after he gave you the
Yeah.
permit for the
Yeah,
foundation,
he
you
finished
repaired
the
it.
foundations.
And that was good.
He gave you a check mark on that, so that was the main concern, and the exterior is cleaned up.
Yes. And Tony did mention it last time that you were, he was trying to get in contact with you as far as the siding and stuff like that, but I don't,
I had to, get in touch, pick up my permit, she said, file for my, electrical inspection, so I can get that done, so I can get a meter on. And I'm waiting on that permit, but, I got the other permit, so I can start the insulate, siding.
You're waiting on the permit from us, or you just haven't come in to apply for it?
Well, I applied at the office over there, and they said, I said, they'd let me know when it was ready.
Okay,
He's not here yet.
It was on the 10th, so.
okay, so,
yeah, 'cause I thought when I spoke with Tony, he said the one time they were trying to get a hold of you. So it may be already, you
Yeah,
know,
the one was ready, but the siding one, I mean, the electrical one, I just applied for it on the 10th.
I picked up the other one on the 10th already.
So that would have been after our last meeting.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we had an update from Tony. Because I'd like to defer this for 60 days.
Yeah, because like I said, the last time I spoke to Tony, he did not, get in contact with Mr. Fouch. So he didn't have an update for me.
They had a problem with, my email. It wasn't, connecting with them for some reason.
Right, yeah, I tried emailing you, I told you the one day and I got undeliverable, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
I've had to do that several times since then too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the area I live in.
What's the,
What would be the best contact then for them to get a hold of you for like when that is ready?
My phone number's on the application. You just
Yeah.
call it.
Okay.
So we have it done.
So you can't call them?
Yeah.
I mean, last I heard from Tony, the foundation was good.
Yes.
Obviously, they got the green tag on that. That obviously was a safety concern. I know he said it was secured, correct? Which would be my second main concern. He picked up the permit and applied for another permit. I mean, I feel like there's progress happening here.
Yeah.
I don't see any
Definitely.
reason to make this 30 days. I think, for me, I'd feel comfortable with 60.
I'm good with that.
Okay, that being said, I'd like to make a motion to give a deferral for 60 days. We appreciate all the progress you're making on this. Let's keep moving forward for sure. And that would bring you to our February 19th meeting.
Okay.
And then if Tony needs anything in the meantime, he
Well,
can reach out to you.
I'll call the office and let him know I'm out there. If he needs to contact me or see me, he knows what time I'll be there that way.
Okay, but he can call you and say, hey, I need to see you, and you'll go meet him if needed?
I could be,
If he needs to talk to you or meet you at the property, he could call you and you would meet him out there
Oh,
for
yeah.
that? That's my long-winded motion.
I'll second. I just
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer to defer this to the February 19th meeting, and it's seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
I can go ahead and start on the siding then.
You picked up the permit for that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah, if you got the permit, you can. Make sure it's displayed on the front window of the house.
Yep,
And then we'll see you on February 19th.
all right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
You too.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Moving on to item number 9, 13947 Hobart Street, Griswold. Okay, this was one, we do have the, permit for this. Cheryl, could you refresh my memory again? This was the demo permit, or?
Yes.
Yeah. They have the 90-day demo permit, 3/11/25 is the 90
He
day.
did come in the other day and picked up his permit for demo, and it was issued to him for the 90 days, and I told him that, he asked Cheryl and me about the meeting, and he paid for it, picked it up, and said it will be done by then, so I told him he didn't need to come to tell you that, but he does have it secured and picked it up and said it was being demoed, so, within his timeline.
So that's the 3/25 you said?
3/11/25.
3/11. So he should come to the meeting in March, right? March 19th?
That's the date, March 19th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to defer this until,
Well, real quick, sorry to interrupt. If it is down before that, would he have to show?
no, if it's done before that, then he would not have to show, and we could just take this off the agenda.
And so we could make the decision, then. I still agree with the deferring for the March 19th meeting, but at that time, I guess they wouldn't have to, have notice to him to show.
Correct,
No, you
yeah.
could get a staff report from Cheryl or Tony or somebody that says, hey, we got it, it's cleared out, it's done. And then at that time, we can amend the agenda if it's not on it and just take it off.
Right, okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine, thank you for saying that. So my motion would be to defer this to the March 19th meeting, with the understanding that if this should be demoed before, we are notified, and at that time, it could be removed from the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to under permit demo orders, I did, get information from them. They are still having active listings and showings on it. Ms. Herrera, did reach out to me this morning. I did forward that information to you guys, that she did switch, her, contract ended. She did switch realtors.
It is active on the MLS too.
Yeah. So, and I believe the, other one is as well.
They are.
So, moving on to update items, Diamond Peak Homes, still, I think it's still for lease or sale, secure. The Lomberger, I don't believe, Jeff, would you know if, Kirsten received any more information from Mr. Lomberger, or has sent out any literature to him? Because they were supposed to pay the remaining balance within 60 days, and it's long past that.
Okay. Not that I've heard.
So if she did not, if we can, have her reissue a letter, I thought she did, but I didn't get a chance to speak to her today.
Okay.
He made a couple payments, right? He made
You
two.
made one payment, a considerable amount.
Yeah, I think there's only a few grand left, I wanna say.
Yes, maybe 1,200 or 1,500,
Yeah,
I wanna
I
say.
thought it was closer to two, but, yeah, he had paid like two-thirds of it, I thought.
Yeah, he paid a good portion of it, and asked for a 60-day, to pay the remainder in,
Can I ask a question about that?
yes.
So if we don't hear back from him,
Then we'll lean it for the 2 grand.
there you go.
Okay. The Fernwood, Mr. Dickmeyer,
Yeah, I have updates on all 3 of these. For
Okay.
Fernwood, we filed a claim in the Mogan Estate timely. I got that done a week and a half or so ago. So presumably, if there's any assets in the estate, which we know there should be some, since we sold one of the properties, we'll get paid on the back end once the estate's ready to close. Ward and Land Bank, I have the sworn statements here. I was hoping Tony was here, but he's not. So once Tony is back, I'll have him sign the statements, we'll get them on file. Then that just starts a very abbreviated 30-day window for them to object, and if not, we'll get judgments in the first part of next year against both Ward and Land Bank that would be used as liens against those properties.
Okay. Item 6, the 127th lane, Tim did get that, structure torn down, everything. You did get the bill generated, internally for the,
No, but I just need to finish the bill. They graded it, we gotta put some seed down over there. We had that spell of wet and we had like 2 weeks of nothing, because we couldn't get we had to go in on that side lot to get in and out of there, but it's, excuse me, it's complete. I just have to generate the bill and then it'll be done.
okay. And then the Edison one, that will still be, for future. Okay.
Another page.
Yeah, it's the end. That's a deferral, we don't need to discuss that. Moving on to public comment for unsafe building. Public comment twice for unsafe building. Third time, public comment. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned at 6:56 PM. Next meeting, January 15th.
Good job, 6:56.
Here, I'll get back with you.
Yeah, but I'll hear from you tomorrow.
All right.
So you know, Cheryl.